Hi, I'm Douglas E. Welch, and this is At the End of the Day. This is a new concept I'm thinking of for a podcast, just something I wanted to try out. I'm sitting here happily ensconced in my home office, sipping some tea and thinking over my day. Typically, my family goes to bed hours before I do, and so I often find myself sitting here quietly thinking about my day, the things that have gone on, the things that are yet to come in the next day, the next week, the next month. I'm hoping that by sharing my thoughts with you, maybe they will spark some ideas in your own mind. At the end of the day, will not be a daily podcast by any stretch of the imagination. It's very difficult to do a daily show, and I wouldn't want to even attempt that. But I will do it basically whenever I have anything interesting to say. These will appear in the My Word blog and podcast feed for the time being until we see if it's kind of mature enough to expand off on its own. Today, as it has been a lot of days recently, the thing weighing on my mind is viruses. I'm a computer consultant by trade. That's what I do day in and day out. I'm also a new media consultant. I help people do podcasting and other things like that, but more and more of my time is being taken up with viruses. So, first of all, let me tell you, if you're using a Microsoft Windows machine, make sure you've got it protected 100 ways to Sunday. Anti-spyware, anti-malware, antivirus, and keep them updated. Please, you don't want a visit from someone like me who's going to charge you lots of money to clean up little bugs that someone else put on your computer. That said, it's gotten more and more troubling over the years with how many machines are not worth recovering from a virus. They're somewhat old, they're slower machines, basically with the cost of computers today. I'm often telling people that it's simpler really just to go out and buy a new computer, hire me to come in, move their data, set up the new computer, protect it 100 ways to Sunday, and basically start afresh. I find that personally repugnant. I hate throwing things away. I like having stuff repaired. I like taking care of what I own and not retiring it simply because something has started to squeak or something has gone wrong. Yet, there is very little I can do about that. The fact is, as I said, with the lower cost of computers these days, it's simply become a fact of life that it's often a better investment. I won't say it's cheaper, but it's a better investment to simply replace the computer and start afresh, free from all the viruses and nasty things that the other computer has gotten. It's especially troubling on top of all this that malware, spyware, and viruses are becoming much more adept at force-feeding themselves to even systems which are fairly well protected. Be missing one update for a program or one update for Windows or one update on your virus program, and you could very easily become infected. And finally, the last thing is, oftentimes we do it to ourselves. We get caught by a Trojan horse program. These are programs that pretend to be something nice, and they're actually something nefarious that are just going to further cause damage to your system. That has a double penalty. We feel stupid for doing it, and it causes our computer to crash. So it's difficult dealing with clients in that situation sometimes because since I'm the person there in front of them, I can sometimes feel the brunt of their anger, their disappointment with the system, or their embarrassment. They need someone to blame, and I totally agree with them there. I'm not to blame entirely, but at least I feel I can be there and offer a friendly ear and give them some path out of the forest. Well, enough about Windows for now. It's been raining here in LA over the last 4 days, really, and it looks like we'll have a slight break tomorrow. So for myself and my own personal life, getting out of the house is going to be pleasurable, to say the least. I'm actually going to go do another recording of another new media show for some friends of mine, and that always is a great boon for me. I always come off doing something like that, or giving a presentation or teaching a class as very energized. It gets me going. It gets me thinking. I typically have a ton of new ideas that come out of that just from the fact that my mind is engaged. And I'd highly recommend that to you too. If you have a chance to speak in front of people, you have a chance to teach people, highly recommend that you go out and do it, because you'll find that not only are you teaching, you're learning yourself. If nothing else, you're learning new ideas and generating new concepts that you might not otherwise have done, because simply you changed your venue, you changed your point of view, you changed your outlook on life. And even in small ways, that can be a really big thing. So that's enough for our show today. This has been At the End of the Day, and I'm Douglas E. Welch. For those of you who may not have heard of me or seen me before, you can find out more information about myself and everything that I do, including the new media group, New Media Interchange, over at my website, douglasewelch.com. Again, that's douglasewelch.com. You'll find these shows under My Word with Douglas E. Welch, my personal eclectic catch-all blog, for lack of a better description. Thanks for joining me tonight here in my quiet home, and I hope you have a great night and an even better tomorrow. Cheers.